Hey crew, Mr. Ellis here for your pre-Thanksgiving break coronavirus update. So first and foremost, we got some real things to talk about. Let me start with this. So forewarned is forearmed, as they say, and I think that will hold true with this. So this is the trend in our COVID cases in the U.S. as reported to the CDC. So let me bring this down here a little bit and show you this graph. So a couple things I want to talk about with this graph. Number one, this is kind of when things started coming our way, right? January, very little stuff going on, and then cases started spiking. That's about when we closed down school the first time, right? And through time, you see it's kind of gone down a little bit. We put a cap on it there. It went up a little bit. We reduced it a little bit. But right now, it's starting to trend this way. And that's getting higher. And it's not really leveling off as much as we'd like it to up there. So a couple things to say about that. One of the deals with any kind of flu, like that's the reason we have a flu season, or whether it's coronavirus or just influenza, is that when it gets colder, you see November 16th here, right? As it gets colder, people tend to crowd together for warmth indoors and be around each other more often indoors than outdoors. With COVID specifically, it's like 20 or 30 times more likely to spread indoors than outdoors. So the more people start spending time together inside, right, during the cold months, the more the stuff starts to spread. And so the reason I'm bringing all this up is because, of course, we have Thanksgiving coming up soon, which is when people from different households come together in one place and share food and stay indoors and pretty much everything. Like you check off every box of like warnings, like, CDC doesn't like any of these things really because they're dangerous. So a couple things I want to say about it. Number one, I know that you guys are kids and I know that parents don't always listen to kids, but that doesn't mean that you can't do everything in your power to keep you and your family safe. And so that's kind of what I want to do here is talk about ways that you could, if this is something that you know is happening, your family's getting together. I know with my family, my mom has decided not to do Thanksgiving this year, and that was her choice. But if I was doing a Thanksgiving with my family, here's what I would do to keep us safe. You can actually find this information, and I got a little QR code here for you if you want to pause the video, and then you can pull up your camera on your phone, and this QR code will take you to the following website. Let me pull it up here. This one right here. Holiday celebrations and small gatherings. This is from the CDC, and these are their recommendations for what to do during Thanksgiving, okay, to try and keep things as safe as possible. So number one, if at all possible, if I was having Thanksgiving, I would make sure that we were doing it outside. And I know that it might be cold, right, which isn't always that great. And if you can't do it outside, maybe having a well-ventilated area, okay? That means that there's, maybe you have some windows open, or, you have a seriously good air conditioner running like nonstop, something to help with ventilation. But the main thing is outside. That's going to be the best bet for you, okay? And continuing here, making sure that when you're having it, like how long you go for and how long you're around each other is important. Behavior of attendees is really, really big, like social distancing, hand washing, mask wearing. If you're around people who are older or people who are from different places, it's always smart to wear a mask, not just because it can protect you, but because it can protect them, just in case you were sick, especially if you've been at school for a while, and then you go around your grandparents who have been quarantining. You don't want to bring any illnesses around them if at all possible. So everybody wearing masks is going to be something that would be a huge help. So if we were getting together, that's what I would do. Make sure we're wearing masks, social distancing as much as we can, trying to remain outside, and most importantly, I would say, and this is actually what they recommend on here as well, considerations when attending one of these is bring your own food. And I know it's kind of counter to what we normally do. We all share food, but the reason you don't want to do that is because if someone's preparing the food, and they're not wearing a mask, COVID could end up on the food. So it's important if you're cooking that you're cooking with a mask on. Continuing, if you bring your own food, you'll be less likely to share or spread anything, and that's kind of the point here. If we look at the trends, where are we? Right here, the spread is increasing. This is the number of cases reported. In fact, if we come over here, we see, by the way, blue here is number of cases per 100,000 people. And Georgia is in the dangerous dark blue region here, okay, as is most of this area of the U.S. So Georgia's not looking that great right now, so we want to minimize spread. How can you do that? Wearing a mask, social distancing, and even if possible, bringing your own food where and when you can. You see increased ventilation, that kind of stuff. Require guests to wear masks. These are things that I know that, you guys are just kids. You don't have too much input in what the family does, but that doesn't mean you can't speak up. and try to make sure people are doing the right thing. And that's what I would encourage you to do. Just keep track of your family, keep them safe as much as you can, and at the very least, keep yourself safe. Okay? So these are things to think about with COVID. When it's getting cold, we're gathering together from different households. I know some people still want to make it happen. Just make it happen safely. Yeah? And again, this is the recommendation from our government. All right? The CDC, Centers for Disease Control. Please do it. Please be safe and have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I love you all very much and hope to see you all back safe and healthy after the break.